This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Tell me the old story of unseen things above, of Jesus and His glory, of Jesus and His love. Tell me the story simply as to a little child, for I am weak and weary and helpless and defiled. Tell me the old story. Tell me the old story. Tell me the old story of Jesus and His love. Tell me the story softly, with earnest tones and grave. Remember, I'm the sinner whom Jesus came to save. Tell me the story always, if you would really be in any time of trouble a comforter to me. Tell me the old story. Tell me the old story. Tell me the old story of Jesus and His love.
Our Father who art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy will be done.
on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread,
And forgive us our debts,
As we forgive our debtors.
and lead us not into temptation,
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
The power,
and the glory.
forever and ever.
Amen.
like never before. Oh, my soul, I'll worship your holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship his holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I'll worship your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come, still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship his holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I'll worship your holy name. Worship your holy name. Lord, I'll worship your holy name. Light of the world, you kept down into darkness, opened my eyes, let me see beauty that made this heart adore you, hope of a life spent with you. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. King of all days, oh so highly exalted, glorious in heaven above. Humbly you came to the earth you created, all for love's sake became poor. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. And I'll never know how much it cost to see my sins upon that cross. And I'll never know how much it cost to see my sins upon that cross. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, all altogether wonderful to me. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
While they were eating, Jesus took the bread, gave thanks and broke it, and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat. This is my body." Then he took the cup, gave thanks, and offered it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on until the day I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom."
Good morning. Welcome this morning. I have a question. Have you ever tried to do something, and no matter how hard you tried, not be able to do it? You've focused a lot of effort and energy into it, and again it fails. And so suddenly you reach a point where you set it aside and you say, you know what? This must not be my thing. This must be not what I am gifted at. And so you move on away from it. I think we've all experienced that. And I think that is also part of what has happened with the modern church in regards to evangelism. We have tried and tried, but it doesn't seem to be working. And so we set it aside and say it just isn't our thing. But you see, in the past, there was no effort required. People just came to church when they started seeking God. So historically, especially in American churches, very little effort was required until these recent past generations. And now it seems like no matter what we do, we're not able to connect with people. Our old approach models of going door to door or asking people if they know Jesus just isn't working anymore. And so, for the most part, we've set it aside. And we've said that just doesn't seem to be our thing. We'll focus on other areas. And now we've reached a point where our churches are closing their doors at an alarming rate because they're only staying as open as our oldest members are. For the most part, in America, there is a vast different mindset between evangelism and missionary. And I think that has contributed into why we have gotten to the place where we are. You see, missionary work takes effort. And we have reached a point where our old approach of evangelism, where it really didn't take much effort just to knock on the door and ask people one question and then dust our sand off and move on. Somehow in the course of that, we've lost our ability to even desire if we succeed at it. We've forgotten that it's our Great Commission and that we are supposed to be actively doing this work of evangelism. So this morning, I would like to pause and look at the early church in Jerusalem, going back again to the book of Acts. You see, they were a seeker-friendly church. They had to be, because they only had 12 original believers. Well, and a handful of other people. But you understand my point. They understood that there were going to be way less amount of believers than there were going to be seekers. And they developed it and maximized on this. And we have a lot that we can learn from this. So what are the three things that the early church in Jerusalem did and did well that enabled them to facilitate the growth that they had both spiritually, as in making disciples of Jesus Christ, but also in regards to their numbers and being able to multiply in church plants and their missionary journeys? How were they able to do this? Well, the first thing that they had was a powerful witness. And this witness was based on unity. You see, the early church had one mission, and that was to make disciples of Jesus Christ. That was their primary focus. Everything else was secondary. This means that they completely set aside anything that would divide them. Politics, personal preference, traditions, culture, absolutely everything was secondary. It didn't have a place, a function. They viewed it as only a tool that would divide them. So they stayed focused in unity upon their mission, which was to make disciples of Jesus Christ. They understood that if they were going to attract people, then they needed to look more like Jesus than this world. And that is something, modern church, that we have forgotten. We have that same powerful witness today, but we have to be willing to make it a priority in our lives. This understanding of unity. You see, we can't sow discord amongst each other and then suddenly get unity right when it needs to be. It needs to be something that we live, breathe, walk, sleep, serve in. This notion of unity. Philippians 2:2-4 states, "Make my joy complete, thinking the same way, having the same love, united in spirit, intent in one purpose. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourself. Everyone should look not for his own interests, but also in the interests of others." What's interesting here is this passage was written by the Apostle Paul to the church in Philippi. The Apostle Paul was not one of the original 12. So this means that not only was the early church in Jerusalem able to embody this unity, this mindset, this one mission, but they were able to teach it and pass it on. They were able to instill it as a primary mark of what it means to be a church of Jesus Christ. Now we teach it, but do we expect it? Do we expect unity to the point that when someone is going to sow discord, they feel uncomfortable? That they know that it's not what Jesus wants? That it's not what is expected of them to be part of the church? I don't think we do. I think we expect discord to be present, to be experienced. I think we teach unity, but it's one with lofty hopes, with kind of a realization that we might not really experience it. But we see that that is drastically different from the early church. They demanded unity. They expected unity. They called out when unity didn't happen. They said, this is only going to divide us. And if we are going to do the work of Jesus, which is creating disciples of Jesus Christ, then we must set this aside. We must be united in our one goal, and anything that does not contribute to that one goal cannot be present. With this is the notion that they gave freely to each other, as well as to everyone else around them that was in need. Now, I want to highlight something here, and I know that it might sound like I'm making a political statement, and I'm not. I'm just seeking to clarify a unique attitude that they held. Now, we might use modern names to understand things, but back then we could have just easily called it a Roman trait or a Greek trait due to the empires. But to speak in our modern language for a minute, this gift of generosity, the spirit of giving freely to themselves and each other, was radical. You see, in our modern language, communism is this feeling of what yours is mine, and I will take it. Socialism is a little softer. Socialism is what yours is mine because I deserve it, or I can justify it. But fellowship is what is mine is yours because I'll share it. You see, this was profound back then. People had to fight for things. They had to demand things just in order to survive, not thrive, but survive. They were not used to people just giving them things, to expect nothing in return, to just give it to them because they value them. This was unheard of. And this made the early church uniquely able to have a profound witness, because the people around them would say, why? Why are you doing this for us? When the Romans do this for us, it's because they just take it. When the Greeks do it for us, it's because they demand it. Why are you doing this for us? Then it was able to open the door, and they were able to tell them about Jesus. The reason that we do this, the reason that we give so freely with each other and with everyone else who has a need, is because who we believe in. And who we believe in would have done this for you. So since we are followers of Jesus, we are going to do in your life what Jesus would have done. What Jesus wants to do. This made a profound witness. So this meant to the early church, everything became usable, became a tool to reach people. Food, money, time, energy. They pooled all of these resources and they gave them away freely. Why? Because they wanted people to ask, why are you doing this? This is unheard of. People just don't normally give you something, wanting nothing in return. The spirit of generosity became such a significant outpouring of their powerful witness of unity. What was their number one mission? To make disciples of Jesus Christ. Everything else was secondary. Their money, their resources, their time, their energy, politics, gender, everything, social norms, everything was second. Does this have a message today? Would this witness be powerful to people today? You see, when we walk outside our doors, we are going to come into contact with huge numbers of people who are used to having to fight to survive, to demand the right to be able to survive, not thrive, but just survive. They're not used to people helping them and expecting absolutely nothing in return. Can this approach, this trait of the early church be as profound today as it was then? Absolutely. Do we maximize this? Do we use this as a tool? Do we recognize that this is a powerful way for us to evangelize? Many modern churches today haven't. Are we united in one mission? Absolutely. Do we display it and maximize that to the best of our ability? Probably not. The second thing that they possessed was a powerful message. The early church focused on Jesus, teaching and preaching Jesus. Now, we could argue or contend that one of the reasons that they did this was because a majority of the early converts were Hebrew. So they would have already been familiar with the Old Testament scriptures or understanding who the one true living God was, Jehovah. But when they moved into Gentile regions, they didn't shift this approach. Their message began with and ended with Jesus. Now, they pulled from old passages. They pulled from the Old Testament and the old teachings to support it. I'm not trying to say that they only preached and taught from the New Testament. That is not true. But their message began with Jesus and it ended with Jesus. And what is amazing is that God blessed this. God blessed their efforts by making all of their work productive. The people responded to this gospel of Jesus overwhelmingly. And I think that it was profound because at its core, this spirit of generosity, the fact that they were used to having to fight to survive, to demand the right to survive, made it significant to learn that someone would be willing to die so that they might live. Isn't that still profound today? So many people can't fathom that. When you have to fight for every little thing, can you imagine when you have to demand that you have a right to survive, whether you're a minority people group, whether you are just someone who can't get ahead, who can't seem to get any breaks in life, or whether you're somebody that is socially outcast, to learn that somebody was willing to die so that you might live, and not just survive, but to thrive, to live life in abundance. Isn't that message still powerful today? Absolutely. Are we using that as an evangelistic tool? Are we reaching into the lost world? You see, we teach it and we preach it, but we're preaching it to each other. We're teaching it to each other. Are we moving beyond our church doors? And are we sharing this with people? Probably not to the best of our ability. The last thing that they possessed was a powerful love. When looking at the early church in Jerusalem, it was this ability that allowed them to have a powerful witness and a powerful message. You see, this love was genuine. It wasn't fake. These people were so used to being tossed tokens to appease them, to keep them from rioting, to keep them somewhat under control. They would recognize when what they were being shown was not real. So we must ask ourselves, how did these 12 be able to embody, preach, and instill and teach this love to where it was replicated? The depth of this love and the beauty of this love, how were they able to do this? And it's because they were there. They saw it. They experienced it. They shared it with Jesus. John, the beloved, was one of the original 12. And he is written in John 15:13, "Greater love has no man than this, that a man willingly lay down his life for one another." They saw Jesus do this. They watched as Jesus hung on the cross because of love. They watched as Jesus was spit on and mocked, and he only responded with, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing." He only responded with love, not tolerance. It wasn't that Jesus remained quiet while they did it. He responded with love. He asked for forgiveness for them. When was the last time somebody hurt you or disappointed you or let you down? Did you lash out at them, or did you immediately go to the Father and say, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. They didn't know that they were going to hurt me this deeply"? The power of this love. They saw it. They stood there and witnessed as Jesus took his last breaths, his last earthly breath, because he loved us, because he loved them. This is how they could catch the depth and the beauty of it. This is why it was so powerful. And not only did it profoundly impact their lives, but we see again through the teachings of John that it was taught and it was shared and it was replicated. You see, the original 12, they didn't take all this experience with Jesus and hold it close and form a nonprofit community organization. They took these profound lessons from Jesus. What it means to be a profound witness, what it means to have a profound message, and what it means to have a profound love. And they said these are the 3 marks of being a disciple of Jesus Christ. No ifs, ands, ors, or buts. If we're going to be disciples of Jesus Christ, we have to have it. And they were united in mission and one thought in mind, that it was a requirement. And that is how they moved forward. You see, we can research evangelistic models, systems, approaches all day. We can pay hundreds of dollars in studies and absorb everything that they know. But at the end of the day, it can mean nothing. If we do not understand what the early church did, what they had, what they possessed, what made them able to do the phenomenal thing that they did, it all boiled down to these 3 things. Church, we can be a lot of things. And there are a lot of churches today that are a nonprofit community organization. But if we are going to be a church, we only need 3 things. A powerful witness, united in one mission. A powerful message, the gospel of Jesus Christ. The spirit of generosity, if what it means to say, everything that I am and everything that I have is yours, because I'll share. Not because you'll take it, not because you'll demand it, but because I will give it freely. Why? Because Jesus loves you. And that means I must love you. And then lastly, that powerful love. A love that enables us to do the prior to. Church, we were not called to be a community nonprofit organization. We were called to be disciples of Jesus Christ. Let us move forward, making these 3 things our cornerstones, our foundations, our support structures, our everything. And God will bless us in return. We will multiply in numbers. We will multiply in discipleship. We will expand the kingdom of God. We will impact each other, and we will impact our communities. We have everything that the early church had. We just haven't utilized it or understood the importance and significance of using it to the best of our ability. Until next week, God bless.